Alright, Manosphere Defender here. And today we got King Panderbear here, Derrick Jaxn, tweaking off Kevin Samuels today. As you can see, this man done fell clean off the face of the earth. He has 676,000 subscribers, but can barely average over 10K views. Like, this is sad. Look at these views, bro. Like, this Kevin Samuels video has the most views, 25,000 views, than any video he's had in the last, oh my goodness, 3 months. The last one I see that did more than that was 3 months ago with 40,000 views. So he's almost topped his 3-month-old video. This guy is a joke. He fell clean off the face of the earth. His fall from grace was dirty. But anyways, he was tweaking on Kevin, and we're going to react to this.
At Sonobello, Chicago,
this boy's so soft.
We removed stubborn body fat permanently in just one visit.
Good boy. No, he's soft.
So, as you...
I'm going to play this video a little sped up so we can get through it a little faster.
You guys can see by the title, I want to discuss something. The recent passing of Kevin Samuels. Controversial relationship, YouTuber, counselor, amongst other...
Right off the bat, he's starting the bull with controversial, using the same talking points as the mainstream media. Wasn't nothing controversial. That's just what you're trying to paint this picture as. Controversial. That's all they want to say is controversial.
The things, but he passed away a couple of days ago for, I think it was cardiac arrest or something like that. Besides the point.
He don't even know how to man dad. He just talking.
I got hit up to ask my thoughts about this. One, because of who I am in the relationship space, and we tend to stand on opposite sides of the spectrum, and have not been...
You ain't nobody in the relationship space no more, bro. You fell off.
Shy about that at all. But I wanted to speak on this for two reasons. First off, I do want to speak on that, how I personally feel about the passing of him as a controversial relationship orator or, YouTuber or what have you. And then also the other part, where I see a lot of women, black women especially, who have been celebrating that he's died. Yes, for those who don't know, he's so controversial that you have people who have a lot of mixed reactions to him passing. Sometimes you have people grieving, this type of thing. But right now you have a lot of folks who are celebrating. They're at least mocking or maybe even just apathetic to the fact that he has passed on. And I've seen people like his fans and stuff talk about that group as being, really messed up. Like, how twisted you got to be. How effed up of a human being do you have to be laughing or happy and celebrating that this man has died? And my personal belief on that, even if I don't stand where they stand, is that it's not so much a measurement of their character, even those that are laughing at him being gone. It's not a measurement of their character.
This man just said, people laughing at somebody's death, making fun of it, making memes, joking about somebody's death is not a judge of their character. Is you serious, dude? Are you serious right now? It's not a judge of their character. It's definitely a judge of their character. It shows you exactly who they are as a person. If a person's sitting there mocking somebody's death, I don't care what the situation is. Your character is not very high, sir. So what do you mean this is not a judgment of their character? Smack yourself.
They're reacting in that way, as much as it's a reflection of the impact that his content has had on them. Because yes, Kevin Samuels it's not all bad or all good. Nobody is. So
it don't matter. There's no justifying this. He's trying to justify why it's okay for these people to be saying and doing what they're doing, and there is no justification for it. Like, this man literally just said, it's not a judgment of their character, it's just a judgment on what his content did for them, or did to them. What? First of all, these people are already in the wrong, one, for talking about a dead person, and two, they're wrong about how they interpreted his content. Because anybody who says that, oh, his content was this and that and bad and da-da-da-da, you obviously didn't sit and watch it, or you just want to create your own narrative to the content. But either way, these people are wrong in the way that they're analyzing this information. You can't analyze information incorrectly. So no, Derrick, there is no justification for this, you clown.
People who have very positive experiences. He's been encouraging, validating to a certain group. But there's another group who have experienced his content the exact opposite, in a really messed up way. Dare I say, verbally abusively. Some people say, oh, that's a reach. He was just holding women accountable. How do you hold a woman accountable for being 35 years old and single? And saying that?
How do you hold a woman for being 35 years old and single? What are you talking about? How can you not, Derek? Are you stupid? How do you not hold her accountable? There's a reason why she's 35 years old and single. Because guess what? Good women, real good women who are wives already before being asked to be married, nobody's waiting. They're cuffed already. They're already cuffed up and married. There ain't no, first of all, if you're 35 plus years old and you've never been married or you're divorced that means that there's a problem there. And that woman has to take accountability for why no man has ever asked her for her hand in marriage. Or take accountability for why she left her relationship or why her marriage didn't work. There is some accountability in that, Derek. Yes, you can hold a 35-year-old woman accountable for being single. Once again, you cannot be serious. There's a reason why she's that old and single. And she has to take accountability for that. Because if she was such a great woman and she wasn't left over and all these things that y'all saying, then she would be wifed. Point blank.
That they're leftovers, in which that was his most recent viral clip. Let's be real, let's not idolize the dead and just make them angels all of a sudden. Like, let's stop the gaslighting, okay?
The king of gaslighting. The king of gaslighting is talking about some stop the gaslighting. Let's just stop the gaslighting. Bro, you're the king of gaslighting. That's all you do.
The dead and just make them angels all of a sudden. Like, let's stop the gaslighting. Go clip. Let's be real, let's not idolize. How do you hold a woman accountable for being 35 years old and single and saying that they're leftovers? In which that was his most recent viral clip.
Do you even know what the term leftovers even means? It means she's left over. She's 35 years old. That means she's past her prime. Meaning, if she wasn't cuffed already by now, she's left over compared to all the women who already got cuffed up. It's quite an easy concept to understand. But people want to take it and spin it and put their own twist to it. Every culture has a term for a woman that's left over. But when we say it in America, all of a sudden, it's horrible. He's bogus for saying it, even though it's true. Come on, Derek.
Let's be real, let's not idolize the dead and just make them angels all of a sudden. Like, let's stop the gaslighting, okay? So for the women that fit into any of those groups, whether it was 35 and single and you called leftovers, or you're overweight so you call Big Shirley, or you average looking at best, or you're a single mother and you experience his content in a really harmful, negative, demoralizing way,
So basically, him saying all those things which were truth. So if somebody tells you the truth and you take it in a negative way and get offended, whose fault is that? That's your fault for not being able to accept the truth. Everything you just said, the Big Shirleys, all of that, yeah, there are some, he classified Big Shirleys as them big women, them big, sassy, disrespectful women. Yes, we put them in a category. We call them Big Shirley. Do you think he was calling Big Shirley to the big, respectful women that was trying to be fit, trying to change? Or was he talking to the ones that were just ignorant, lazy, and disrespectful to men? That's the ones he called Big Shirley. And we need a name to call these women that are in that category, because we have to identify them in some way. So just because you took criticism or you took the truth in and it hurt your feelings, you now have the right to bash this man in his death, is what you're saying? Clown. If this was your father, Derek, would you be condoning this type of stuff? Would you be like, oh yeah, I completely understand why these women are doing that because my dad said this and that and that? What type of joke are you, bro?
Group's experience with content is just as valid as those of you who have gotten a lot from his content. You love his conversation.
It's not just as valid. The way that they feel is not validated. You're giving validation to these people for their ignorance. You cannot validate them responding in this way. You're basically validating negative behavior that needs to be corrected. These people need to be taught that no matter how bad a person may have been to you in your eyes, you're not supposed to sit there and mock their death. Now, I can understand if he did something just heinous to people and he was a serial killer or something, just just a horrible person. Then okay. But for a man just giving his opinions and talking, you hate him because he was talking? He was using his right to freedom of speech in this country and you mad? Come on.
And stuff like that. So I have an issue with invalidating him as this being another.
There is no validating it, Derek. You're giving validation to something that's wrong and can't be validated.
Stuff like that. So I have an issue with invalidating them as just being another messed up, twisted group of people that can't handle the truth or whatever else. And also have a problem with charging black women with the responsibility to continuously take the moral high road and be the bigger person. Like they're always held to that responsibility. Black women march for us as black men whenever we die at the hands of police brutality, but vice versa, when a black woman is killed, they get silenced at best.
What? What? So nobody marched for Breonna Taylor. Nobody stood up for all of these women that have been killed by police or just killed in general. We silence women? What are you talking about, Derek? If anything, we stick up for women more than anything because we know women and children need to be protected. So anytime something happens to a woman or child, we're going to automatically jump to their aid. And God, Derek.
For us as black men, whenever we die at the hands of police brutality.
They have to take the moral high road. What are you talking about? Because somebody killed the black man. And first of all, black women were not the only ones who stood up for the murder.
But vice versa, when a black woman is killed, they get silenced. And not when we die at the hands of police brutality, but vice versa, when a black woman is killed, they don't.
Oh my God! Not only do black women march when a black man gets killed, everybody marches. Everybody comes together as a community. The whole community comes together. Don't just make it seem like women just team together and defend black men when they get killed, like as if they just come together exclusively and just defend the men. Everybody, the whole community comes together. And don't try to act like, we downplay when women get attacked. If anything, we stand up for them more. Talking about women have to take the moral high ground and da-da-da-da. What are you talking about, dude?
They get silenced. At best, sometimes they even get, what did she do to deserve that? And when it comes to being a parent, a lot of black women left to raise a child by themselves and blame for choosing a man that left them to raise that child by themselves. So not only do you have to pick up the slack and make it make sense to this child and take on the responsibility for choosing a man that left them to raise that child by themselves. So not only do you do that, and when it comes to being a parent, a lot of black women left to raise a child by themselves and blame for choosing a man that left them to raise that child by themselves.
That is false. That is a false statement. Like most black women are left to raise. That is not true. Just to even say most, that's not true. Most black men want to be there for their children. It's not in us. You're trying to paint this picture that has been painted for hundreds of years that black men are just some type of beast that just doesn't take care of their children. Instinctually, black men are caring and we want to be with our children. You're trying to make it seem like it's in our nature just to leave our children. You painting that same picture that these feminists and these racists have been painting for a while. No, the majority of men aren't out here leaving women and leaving their kids. And if it did happen in that situation, you have to look at the context and we have to figure out, okay, what made this man leave this situation? Was he trying to stay there and be the father, but the mother was being petty and making it real difficult on him? Was he supposed to just deal with that for the rest of his life? We have to look at context sometimes. Sometimes some of these men are driven away through spiteful women. I'm not saying all, but some situations it's like that. But we're not going to sit up here and paint this picture just like, all single women were just left by the man and it's their fault. Where's the accountability, Derek, in the women? You never tell women to take accountability for nothing, bro. What is wrong with you, fam? Why do you got to be pander king of the year, of the century, bro? Ain't nobody for the top. This dude is the king pander.
So not only do you have to pick up the slack and make it make sense to this child and take on the responsibility when they didn't make that child by themselves, but they're blamed for it. And then, you got a lot of black women who have to heal themselves.
Yeah, you're going to get blamed for it because it's your responsibility who you allow to impregnate you. You should know a man's character before you open up your legs to him and let him do that. You think that, he just played the role as a good dude and just up and left when I got pregnant? No. You knew what he was about before you even laid with him. You knew the character of this man. So don't sit up here and act like there's no accountability for it.
From the traumas that we as men impose on them. And then now we're telling them that...
Who is we? Stop saying we as men impose on them. Not all men do that, fam. Stop speaking up for the minority, bro. And start speaking up for the majority of men. You never want to speak up for the good guys. You always want to bash the bad dudes and never stick up for the good guys. Like we don't exist. Stop saying we, fam. We don't, me and the good dudes, we don't inflict pain and suffering on women. So when you say we, don't include me and them.
Hey, when a person that represented trauma and degradation to you and humiliation to you and mockery to you and projecting a lot of unworthiness onto you.
Everything all those words he just used to describe Kevin Samuels is false. And you know that, fam. You're lying on that man's name. Stop lying.
When that person can no longer do that, bite your tongue or else you're a bad person, I think it's unfair and invalidating. But that's just on that end of thing.
You're trying to justify their feelings for why it's okay for them to talk about a dead person and mock a dead person. Even if what you said was true and Kevin Samuels was degrading and all of these things, words that you just used, if you were a better person than him or that person, you would take the high ground, like you said, and you let that person rest in peace and move on because they're dead. Why are you going to kick a dead body? Why are you talking stuff to somebody who's dead? If you had morals, even if a person was degrading and all of those things, you wouldn't sit there and just low blow a dead person. That's what somebody with low character does. So you're basically validating low character people and saying it's okay for them to do that because their feelings was hurt by words.
For me personally, how I feel about Kevin Samuels passing, and for those who don't know, the history is there, for years before he really blew up.
Here we
saying
go
my name a lot of
fake-ish. Here we go. Here we go with the I'm gonna talk shit about this man and then I'm gonna rest in peace at the end. What all these fake people do. Clowns.
Didn't agree with my content, and some people don't, which is cool. And then I also voiced that I didn't agree with his. We didn't know each other personally. We were supposed to have some type of debate/discourse at one point. It just fell through. But whenever I got wind of him passing away, I was deeply saddened. Really, genuinely, deeply saddened. He ain't never said anything enough about me to be happy that he's gone or anything like that. But I was saddened because, first off, it's a reminder it could be any of us. It could be any of us. So you ain't got to like Kevin Samuels, whatever, but death don't discriminate. With a young, old, good, bad, don't matter. Okay, so it was a reminder that, at any point in time, this life that we have can be taken from us. And then secondly, because before he was a content creator or a YouTuber, he was somebody's baby. And his mother lost her baby a few days before Mother's Day. And that's sad in itself. Not only that, he was a successful person. And everybody's family has that one person that can change the whole trajectory of their family. I'm that for my family. I know others that are that for their family. I feel like he was that for his family. And that just got cut off. So there was a lot of people just likely impacted.
Yes, he was that person. He left generational wealth to his daughter and whoever, his grandchildren and their grandchildren. They're set for life. He provided generational wealth. Yes, he did.
By him being gone in multiple ways, beyond just his mom, but his family, his friends, and so on and so forth. But thirdly, and I want to say this, as a content creator,
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since joining the Cashflow 101 system. And so
I think a lot of people don't understand that we can get a lot of likes, a lot of views and all of that stuff, but we have to really grow into the impact that we have. We don't quite get it. Even though Kevin Samuels was a little bit older, he was still very young in his content creation. I think 1.5, 2 years or something like that. And
dude, even in those 1.5, first of all, no, that's garbage. Kevin Samuels has been making videos for well over 5 years. So that statement was false. And so, no, he was not young in the content. He's probably been doing it longer than you, Derrick Jackson. He probably has. I know he has more videos on his channel than you do. So what are you talking about? He was young in his content creation. He surpassed you. Look, you're still doing videos in your car. What is this dude talking about?
And even though what he was putting out, I don't agree with. I'm gonna be straight up with you. A lot of it anyway. Some of the stuff I do, but a lot of his approach, I don't agree with. But I looked at it like, man, he wasn't done. And his microphone got cut off before I feel like he really got to what maybe he was trying to do, just based on more recent interviews of what he said that he was hoping to do for the black community.
I agree with you. His time was cut too short and his mic was cut too short.
The relationships
he had a lot more to talk about and accomplish in his life.
Really, having people be more self-aware. I feel like, what he had put out, one, didn't effectively do that as much as maybe he wanted, but he wasn't done. And even if you look at somebody like Jay-Z, so for those who don't know, Jay-Z is a famous rapper or whatever. Jay-Z said he regrets making his song Big Pimpin' that he made early on in his career, one of his biggest hits. Google it. He said he regret making Big Pimpin'. And if you look at his content now, his rapping now, he's talking about art. He's talking about his wife and his children. He's talking about generational wealth. Like, he grew into his voice, his content creation, his impact. Again, even me, I've been doing this now about 8 years as far as the video content goes. And I'll have some people, I see them say, oh, I don't like how you did this. I don't like how you said that. And sometimes I'll be like, I don't like it. Because I said it at a time where I was still growing into my voice. And I still am, even 8 years in. And in Kevin Samuels, I look at like, man, as a content creator, no, I don't agree with his approach. And I don't agree with some of the things that he did for what I felt like anyway was clicks and views. But that's besides the point. I feel like he still wasn't there in terms of having the intended impact that he wanted. And he was still trying to grow into that. That's just me now. I'm projecting, in a sense, a benefit of the doubt, being somebody that, and sometimes I look at some of my old.
I'm done listening to this clown, man. Yeah, I mean, he said what he said, and he basically tried to justify the whole reasoning for why people are have low character. And Derrick, you can't justify that. Like, bro, there is no justification for that, and you know that. So to sit here and try to give these people who are wrong an excuse for it's okay for y'all to say these things is you petty for that, bro. But it just shows how low this man has gone. Like, how are you over 500,000 subscribers, bro? You can't even get over 10,000 views on your videos, man. Like, this is pitiful. This is pitiful. Yeah, man, I'm done with this guy, man. I'm done with Derrick Jaxn. We already knew the type of guy he was and what he'd be on. But I just had to highlight this, man.